All right, folks, we are officially live right now. And we are live for Brooklyn Nets Talk. From time to time, I've put it inside of me where I want to talk about the Brooklyn Nets. I have to talk about the Brooklyn Nets. As you all know, I'm a New York Mets fan. I am a Brooklyn Nets fan and a New York Jets fan. Why do all three of them rhyme? I don't know, but they do, and those are my three teams. Now, look, we are going to talk about the Brooklyn Nets today, and I want to talk about a few things. I want to talk about the schedule. I want to talk in a recent video. I talked about my expectations for this season, about the future, and I will talk a little bit more about that briefly, not much. So I'm going to talk about the schedule, but mainly what the Nets owner had to say. So look, you already know, and I always got to give thanks to all of the people that support and help this channel grow. And I always got to throw it out there. Like, share, subscribe. As this channel continues to grow, we are going to be able to do amazing things. And I thank all of you for the support. That we got making bank here. The Nets are the NBA version of the Jets. Oh my goodness. Making bank coming in already and coming at my Brooklyn Nets. Oh my goodness. It's all good though. Look, all right. So I'm going to talk about the schedule for the Nets, but that will be after. Look, what is the news from the Nets? And it's a story from today. And that's why I have the title in this video, Brooklyn Nets Talk. Are Nets fans embarrassed? And look what Tsai had to say, the owner of the Nets. And look, what I do know is that a lot of people do not like Tsai. They don't. A lot of Nets fans, they don't like him. They want him to sell the team, to be honest. But I'm not going to go into that deeper, but I will just say that a lot of Nets fans don't like Tsai and the way he's running the team. Look, so what's the news? Knicks title run. This is from Tsai, the owner. Embarrassing to the Nets. Again, the owner, Tsai, says. So I'm going to read this article on ESPN. The New York Knicks are still basking and glowing in their historic NBA championship. But not everyone in the Big Apple is thrilled about it. Brooklyn Nets owner Tsai admitted in a recent interview that the Knicks title run is embarrassing to his franchise and insisted that the crosstown rivals' recent success will not alter Brooklyn's rebuild trajectory. Every year some team is going to win a championship, Tsai said. He told the Nets Daily. So it happened that this year the team in the same city. It doesn't make us feel very good. It irates our fan base and it is embarrassing. And it continues, but in business or in competition, in sports or anything, you shouldn't let the embarrassment factor affect how you perform. We, the Nets, had a plan and we're rebuilding. And I think right now we are on a positive trajectory. I agree with that. I do think as well the Nets are on a positive trajectory. But, so it doesn't change my thinking at all. Okay, Tsai, the Nets owner, also told that he remains committed to his plan of building the Nets fan base in a city that leans heavily towards the Knicks, who drew more than 2 million fans to the NBA championship parade. Let me see if there's anything else. And he also said that the Nets are happy for the Knicks and they hope to draft off their rival tailwinds by attracting dormant fans. We think mostly about, the rest of this is not that important. But what's going on, sis? How you doing? Fly FTW is here right now. Sis, come on now. What we doing, sis? We can't be talking about the Nets right now. I'm having people on TikTok that talking about my Nets. Making bank on YouTube. What's going on, Tia? How you doing? What is going on? I'm doing some NBA talk. Very soon I got to do a Jets video. But, all right, look, from what he said, and look, folks, I'm not going to be looking at the comment section that much. I want to get all of my thoughts across, and then I'll take some time to look at the comment section. But, all right, so, look, that's the question. Are Brooklyn Nets fans embarrassed? And the answer to that is yes, but I won't look, to say that the Nets are embarrassed just because the Knicks won the championship, I don't necessarily say that. I'm going to go deeper. The Nets are embarrassed because when they moved to Brooklyn, let's just talk. They had Darren Williams, Brook Lopez, Joe Johnson. They traded for KG, Paul Pierce to the Celtics, which ended up being, if I'm not mistaken, those draft picks that they gave up ended up being Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. The rest is history. That team underachieved because LeBron was in the East. That Brooklyn Nets team couldn't win. They got to the second round. That's the furthest they ever got. Darren Williams was a flop. Joe Johnson showed up. Joe Johnson is him. He's one of my favorite Brooklyn Nets. Now, that year where they had KG, Brook Lopez got injured. And the projected lineup was Darren Williams, Joe Johnson, Paul Pierce, KG, and Brook Lopez. Brook Lopez not being there, I know that a lot of people don't talk about it. But if you're a Nets fan, that was massive. The fact that the Nets, that team that they had, KG wasn't supposed to be our number one big guy. And I know Brook Lopez struggled offensively with rebounds. I know that. He struggled with rebounds. But offensively, he was really good. Defensively, rebound wasn't great at the time. He got better with the Bucks. But KG was there for defense. And Brook Lopez would have helped KG a lot. Especially that Brook Lopez was giving you 20 a night. So that team, they underachieved, and it was embarrassing. That playoff game, they were in the second round versus the Miami Heat. Darren Williams was just a no-show. Joe Johnson in game 5, he was on fire, but you know, Darren Williams, he just wasn't good. He had some moments in Brooklyn, so that's embarrassing. After that, the Nets went onto a really bad trajectory. And then they got some hopes where they drafted Caris LeVert. They had Jared Allen, D'Angelo Russell, who he came to Brooklyn for that 1 year, and he was phenomenal. Spencer Dinwiddie, you know, they had that group of guys, and that group was like, whoa, Joe Harris, like, they made the playoffs, and we were all like, wow. They made the playoffs, and they won a game against the 76ers, but we knew that that team wasn't going to win a chip. But then, okay, making back, Nets should have stayed in Jersey. That team is a disgrace to New York. Had KD, Kyrie, and Harden on the same team. The problem is those three are the most selfish players in the league. Okay, look, I'm not going to talk about the selfishness of the players, but I will go to those three. The Nets having that D'Angelo Russell team and etc., they sacrificed that team. As we know, they signed KD and they signed Kyrie and DeAndre Jordan, which DeAndre Jordan, he was a really bad contract because he barely even played for the Nets. But the Nets didn't even give Kenny Atkinson a chance to coach KD and Kyrie. Where, look, Atkinson struggled this past Eastern Conference Finals with some of the things he was saying. He was saying, we lost the games, but analytically, we won them. Huh? What? Like Russell Westbrook said, happy retirement, Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook was like, what? Bro, what are you talking about? So that's what Kenny Atkinson was saying. But the Nets fired him without even giving him a chance. And they brought in, who they brought in? Steve Nash? That's embarrassing. Kyrie saying we don't even need a coach. Then they sacrifice Caris LeVert, Jared Allen, etc. for James Harden. Now, don't get me wrong. James Harden, Kyrie, and Durant supposed to be a bomb squad. It's supposed to be a squad that, let's go. And arguably that year they made it to the playoffs versus the Bucks. Kyrie doesn't get injured, Nets win that series. KD's foot is not, a foot, an inch bigger. The Nets win that game and they go to the finals. They would have beat the Hawks. James Harden wasn't 100% healthy, but the Nets ended up losing, and that was their only chance because the next year they got swept. And if I'm not mistaken, the year after that is when they made all the trades. Kyrie with the issues with COVID. I'm not even going to go into all of that. But that was embarrassing. That was extremely embarrassing that you had Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden. And the most that they had to show for it was the second round. Now, I know a lot of things happen, but it's basketball. Injuries happen to everybody. The Miami Heat made it to a finals with mainly Jimmy Butler. Two of them, mainly Jimmy Butler, they made to 2 NBA finals. So I'm not going to cut the Nets slack for that. So we covered the Nets coming to Brooklyn in the beginning. We covered them making the playoffs with Spencer Dinwiddie, D'Angelo Russell, Caris LeVert. Then they sacrificed all of that. And then once they made those trades, Mikal Bridges, look, I liked the trade of Mikal Bridges coming to the Nets and even Cameron Johnson, but I never looked at the two of them as they could be your second or even first best player on a team. If they were the Nets' fourth or fifth best players, that's a different story, but they weren't. They were thrown into okay, we need you guys. You guys were traded for KD. You guys got to be the best players on the team. And there was some nice moments, but not really much to show from it. And then the Nets ended up trading. Now, present day, we have Yegor Demon. We have the new rookie, Mikal Brown Jr., Julius Randle's with the Nets, Michael Porter Jr. There's some rumors that DeMar DeRozan may come. So, look, I like the position that the Nets are at. The Nets traded Nicholas Claxton. They're now going to give Day'Ron Sharpe some run. So, I like what the Nets are building, where they are going. I admit that. I do like it. And I believe better things are gonna happen. In my prediction in a video I made some time ago about the Nets, I cannot guarantee the Nets are making the playoffs, but I think the Nets will compete for a play-in spot. I think they'll compete for it. Nets don't own their draft pick this year. The Nets, if they have a pick swap with the Rockets, so the Nets don't own. They have to play well. Now, the Nets won 20 games last year. I think the Nets could win 30 to 35. I don't think that's unlikely. I think 35 games is not, oh boy. But 35 and 47, I think something like that could happen. And that would put them in the mix of fighting for a 10th seed. I'm not saying it will never happen, but are you still a Nets fan if they ever relocate? Yes, I am a Nets fan. I'm a Nets fan, folks. Yes, it's the Jets. It's not easy. Richie, ¿cómo está? Muchas gracias por mandando. You're awesome. Isn't it? Yeah, but not now, sis. I'm talking basketball. What's up with you, sis? Gotta talk some Brooklyn Nets, some Nets, and we're gonna talk about the Jets soon. Got a few weeks. Breece Hall, he's gonna miss 2 to 3 weeks, but he should be ready for opening the first game of the season. So, look, the Nets should feel embarrassed because for the past 10 to 15 years, we've had maybe 2 chances to win a championship. They failed. The Knicks were supposed to get KD and Kyrie, but they didn't. And they came to the Nets. And just seeing how the Knicks were able to construct a team from the bottom up, starting with Julius Randle. Let's give him some love because he was a part of the culture. Now, could he be your first, second, even third best player on a team? First or second, didn't work out in Minnesota, didn't work out with the Knicks. Third, maybe. Fourth, I think he could be your fourth best player on a team to win a championship. I think so. But, Net fans, they should feel, I'm a Nets fan. Look, do I feel embarrassed? Look, I don't feel embarrassed. I feel disappointed because they had some opportunities. There were some decisions where I looked at the Nets and I'm like, the Nets have had like 10 to 15 years to get it right. Whereas the Knicks, they got Jalen Brunson 3 years ago. Was it 3 years ago? Something like that. 3 years ago. And little by little, it kept going up, up, up. And then they win a championship. They constructed. Whereas the Nets, they had KD, Kyrie. They had a lot of opportunities and they weren't. So, look, I feel more disappointed than embarrassed. But I can agree that there are Net fans that feel embarrassed. 100%. I mean, when people go to the Barclays Center, for example, I remember there was a game where the Warriors came to Barclays Center. Nobody was cheering for the Nets. All I hear was for Steph Curry. You hear the noise, the yelling. I was on Instagram earlier. Somebody put a comment. The Nets, Barclays Center is for tourists that come to New York City that want to go to a cheap NBA game. And I'm like, yo. But I can't lie about that. Because even when the Nets win the playoffs, it's just like, do you see how the Garden is compared to the Barclays Center? The Barclays Center is a really nice place. I've been there a few times. But the passion that's there, there's really not much passion for the Nets. I just got to keep it honest. It's just not much. Whereas in the Garden, the Knicks were horrible some years ago, and they were still packed out. Whereas the Nets had moments where they were good. And it's just not the vibe. So, look, I'm disappointed in the Nets. There are some embarrassing things. And, I mean, we got Toho Fran on YouTube. I'm really embarrassed. Hey, Toho Fran, look, I put there the embarrassment goes from Darren Williams, Joe Johnson days, Brook Lopez. When they first moved to Brooklyn, that team failed. Darren Williams wasn't it. Trading away Karis LeVert, all of these guys, Jarrett Allen for James Harden. And, the Knicks winning a championship the way that they did, constructing a team and making all of the right moves. Look, I got to give some love to the Knicks for that. And I celebrated a little bit for the Knicks winning the championship because I'm a New York fan. I root for New York. But I didn't enjoy it like I would enjoy if the Nets won a finals. I was a little kid when the Nets were last in the finals. 2 years back to back with Jason Kidd. We're talking about that Nets team and the Pistons were the two best teams in the East. The Nets, Jason Kidd, Kerry Kittles, Richard Jefferson, Kenya Martin, and they run into the Lakers. Shaq, oh my gosh. Kobe, oh boy. And then the Spurs the year after. So I haven't seen the Nets make the finals since what, 2002, 2003? It's been forever. But look, it is embarrassing. If you wear a Brooklyn Nets hat, you're going to get roasted. It's just the reality. You're going to get roasted because I'm as a Nets fan, I cannot disagree with this. New York is a Knicks town. New York is a Knicks town. It's not like, if I had to be generous, I would say maybe 5% are Brooklyn Nets fans and 95% are Knicks fans. If I had to be generous, and that's 95% to 5%. And that's me being generous. Because Nets fans, look, when Nets fans go to Barclays Center, they're not as passionate as Knicks fans. I'm not saying that the Nets fans after the game, they need to be going next level wild outside like Knicks fans. I'm not saying they have to do that. But I'm talking about in the games. In the games, the way that other teams come to the Barclays Center and they are cheering more for the other teams over the Nets, that's a shame. But look, I will say this, and Toho Fran put it there. It's embarrassing. A lot of people want Joe Tsai to sell the team from Nets fans. It's just a reality. A lot of people want that. I don't think that's going to happen, but to answer the question, are Nets fans embarrassed? I believe yes. Personally, I'm more disappointed than embarrassed But I know that there are a lot of Net fans that they're really embarrassed that, we're not praising the Knicks, but the only thing we're praising about the Knicks is that the Knicks in the 3 years or 4 years getting Brunson and just getting all the other right ingredients, even making a trade with the Nets, they put it together really fast. Whereas the Nets in the last 15 years for the Nets, we've seen the Nets make the playoffs, 4 times? How many of those years did we really think they were going to win the chip? Maybe the 1 year where KD and the Nets got eliminated by the Bucks. So I'm more disappointed than embarrassed, but I do agree, as a Nets fan, it is pretty embarrassing. If I wore a Nets hat in the Garden, I'm going to get roasted. It's just the reality. I mean, I don't care about that. I care less. But there is reasons to feel embarrassed. And now, this is the question. Tsai said it. Net fans, it's embarrassing. Okay, what's going to happen now? What's going to happen? I'm excited for Yegor Demon. I'm excited for Mikel Brown Jr. A lot of people wanted the Nets to get Darius Acuff Jr., but I'm actually, and I was one of them that I was actually saying get Darius Acuff. But when I look at Mikel Brown Jr., I'm actually a little like, all right, I like what I see from Mikel Brown Jr. I'm going to be honest. Julius Randle, he'll help. I don't expect him to. If he does, Julius Randle could do what he did for the Knicks. I take it. Michael Porter Jr. Day'Ron Sharpe, he's a good rebounder. So, Mo Wagner, the Nets got. Nets made some moves. I don't expect the Nets to be 20 wins again. I expect the Nets to have around 35 wins, realistically, all jokes aside. And that's a 15-win increase from last year. I take it. I take it. We're going to have to see, folks. Let me see here. All right, so yeah, Toho Fran says, I'm really embarrassed. Welacito, hi, it's me, said hi. What's going on? Weslacito, how you doing? Hope all is well. Yeah. Did you watch that Jets horrible loss? I didn't watch the Jets game. I saw a little bit of highlights, but I don't think it was bad because they got a quick 10-0 lead. So, yeah, the Mets outfielders, sis, are on fire, period. Let's go, Knicks. Nets can move. Nah, chill out, sis. Come on now. Stop being a hater. Come on. Stop being a hater. Who do you think will be good on the Nets this year? Who are you excited about? Yeah, MB Sports Edit. Look, I'm excited. Look, I'm not saying Yegor Demon's going to be an all-star, but I'm excited to see how he can improve from his rookie season. He had a solid rookie year. Mikel Brown Jr., we are not asking him to be the savior. We're asking him to get teammates involved and I like that the Nets, they have 2 veteran players, Michael Porter Jr. and Julius Randle. Now, they're not great. They're not superstar players, but they are going to take away some pressure from our young guys. I'm excited for that. Mo Wagner, Day'Ron Sharpe. Look, I was a big Nicholas Claxton fan, but I'm not mad that the Nets moved on from Clax. I'm not mad. Day'Ron Sharpe deserved a chance. So I'm not mad about that. So I'm excited. And more excited again. The Nets, they have to play this season for real. As I said, the Nets, they do not own their draft pick this year. They don't. The Nets, they have a pick swap with the Houston Rockets. Could that change? Of course, if they make some type of trade or something. But right now, the Nets do not own their pick swap. Or their pick. They have a pick swap with the Rockets. What does that mean? Rockets have a great season. Nets have a terrible season. Rockets can switch it, and they will have the Nets' top pick, and the Nets will get the Rockets' bad pick because the Rockets had a great season. Nets have a great season. Rockets have a terrible season. Rockets will most likely stay with their pick. So Nets got to take this year serious. Again, Nets were 20 and 62 last year. I expect minimum 35 and 47 minimum. It's not great, but it's an improvement, and I expect them to, to start improving. All right, folks, look, so I'm going to go quickly into the schedule. Then I will be getting off of the live stream. Very soon, we're going to be talking about the Jets. Not today, but I have to do another live. But look, folks, if you're with me on YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, Facebook, TikTok, wherever you're at, don't forget, especially on YouTube, to like, share, subscribe, follow on TikTok. I'm a Mets, Nets, and Jets fan, but I cover sports in general. So you already know that I gotta be here for my teams in the good and the bad. So the Nets season is gonna open up Wednesday, October 21st. And they are gonna be home. They are gonna be home versus the Charlotte Hornets. That is gonna be the Nets' first game of the season. After that, they're going to travel to Cleveland to play the Cleveland Cavaliers on Saturday, October 24th. I didn't go over the preseason, but this is the regular season. Then they're going to play a back-to-back next day versus the Pacers at Brooklyn. Then they're going to go to Boston and play Jason Tatum and the Celtics. Then they play the Detroit Pistons at home. Then they go to Indiana for an away game. Then the next day, they have another back-to-back where they're going to play the New York NBA champion Knicks. Let's see any other. The Nets don't have, from my knowledge, the Nets, I don't think they have. Well, they have a few. National TV. Look, I'm going to tell you here. The Nets on November 23rd, they're going to be at Minnesota. Julius Randle coming back. That's going to be on NBC. Okay? Wednesday, January 20th, ESPN versus the Bulls. And that's it. The Nets literally, unless they surprise this season and have a nice year, the Nets literally have 2 national TV games. Love you too, sis. Hey, sounds good. Oh, you got a long schedule tonight. The 3 to 11:31, definitely a tough one. Oh, 3 a.m. All right, I feel you. Yeah. Have a good nap, sis. Love you, and have a good one. I'll see you soon. We got User here saying that the Nets are great. Hey, User, shout out to you for saying the Nets are great. Yeah, folks. So, look, that's pretty much it. That's a little bit of the Nets schedule. There's no expectations for the Nets this year, but I think that the Nets can be a team a lot better. They will be improved. I think Mikel Brown Jr. he'll be in the top 5 for Rookie of the Year. I think he'll be in the top 5. And look, I'm excited. I'm really excited to see what this Nets team can do. They have a few veterans. They have a few young guys. They have the rookies. They have some people that are trying to prove that they belong. And let's see how it's going to go. So look, Net fans, yes, Net fans are embarrassed. It's true. Brooklyn Net fans are embarrassed. But what can we do? Nothing. We got to just hope, believe, and, have optimism that what they're building, as Joe Tsai, the owner, said, this trajectory, we got to hope that this rebuild is going in the right way. We got to hope. We got Star Wars here saying you will get 1K. Hey, I appreciate it, Star Wars. And look, everybody, if you're with me on YouTube or even TikTok, we are at 929 subs on YouTube. We're pushing to get 1K before this month ends. So I invite all of you, like, share, subscribe. All right? I won't be back tonight for the New York Mets game, but I should be back for sure tomorrow live streaming either the Mets game or at least talking about the New York Jets. One of those. But look, nonetheless, I thank you all for joining the live. Thank you all for the support. I'm going to be getting off the live stream again on TikTok. Like, share, subscribe. Spread this out to Brooklyn Net fans, basketball fans, New York fans. Spread this out. Help this channel grow. We've already done 2 giveaways. As this channel continues to grow, we're going to be doing more giveaways. And as I learned, we got to be able to ask for help. So like, share, subscribe, help this channel grow. And as we keep growing, we're going to be doing some amazing things. Thank you all so much. Have a great rest of the day. And hey, Brooklyn, Brooklyn. Let's go Nets in the good and in the bad.